Ladies and gentlemen, this is our joint chief supporting contest of this evening's boxing. 10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the Southern Area Light-Welterweight Championship. Firstly, and introducing to you, fighting out of the blue corner, he's wearing the solid black trunks and weighed in at 10 stone. 26 contests, 18 wins, 10 coming by the way of the big KO, with only 4 defeats and 4 drawn. He's the former undefeated Southern Area Light-Welterweight champion from Tottenham, Bernard Poole. And across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing the white trunks trimmed with red. He weighed in at 9 stone and 13 pounds. He brings an undefeated professional record of 7 contests, 7 wins, and 3 coming by the way of the big KO. He's from Greenford. Would you please welcome Richie Edwards. Timekeeper is Mr. Bob Edgeworth, and referee is Mr. Marcus McDonald, and this is 10 3-minute rounds of boxing for the vacant Southern Area Light-Welterweight Championship.
I spoke to you earlier in the dressing room. Good luck to both men. Touch gloves. Let's have a good one, lads.
The Southern Area Light-Welterweight Championship on the line here. The black trunks of Bernard Poole from Tottenham, 31 years of age. Good performer on his day. Decent puncher as well. The white trunks of Richie Edwards, the 27-year-old from Greenford in West London. Only his 8th professional fight. Has this chance maybe come a little too early for him? We'll see. And it's a fight that pinches together the camps of Frank Maloney and Barry Hearn. Edwards from the Maloney camp, Poole from the Hearn camp. Bernard Poole looking to regain this championship. He was stripped of it after a loss to good fighter John Thaxton. Poole, remember, in black and Edwards in white.
And it started nice and lively with Poole just trying to close the ring down, get as close as he can to Edwards, but Edwards is a nice sharp southpaw who will want to be trying to box and come out with that sharp left hand.
Good right hand on the counter in that exchange from Richie Edwards. Edwards has got decent skills. Former ABA finalist. Maybe just a little bit of a doubt about Edwards' punch resistance. He was stopped in the amateurs by Cham Joof back in 1992. His chin not really properly tested. Let's see how he copes with a fair puncher like Bernard Poole. Easily the biggest fight yet, this, for Richie Edwards.
Well, Edwards has got to keep this boxing going. It's nice movement, but he's got to start just letting the southpaw jab go a little.
Good right hand, that from Poole. He has blown a bit hot and cold in his career, Bernard Poole, who works for the post office. Never been on the floor, Poole. It's a good left hand by Edwards.
And Poole just waiting a little too much. He's trying to pressure with the feet, but he's got to start throwing some punches.
And every time he looks to close the range, Edwards would try to pick him off with counters. That will be the pattern. That's sharp work by Richie Edwards. This is the kind of strategy that he'll need. Lots of lateral movement. Gets caught by Poole's right hand. Looked a bit troubled for a moment, but then comes back with a left. Poole was more off balance, I think, than anything, but a knockdown it is right at the end of the round. A good round for Richie Edwards. Poole raises his arms to say not hurt, but he was down.
and that will have been a bit of a shock there for Bernard Paul, who was doing quite well. It was a very sort of even round. I think Edwards just doing the sharper work, but then obviously Edwards having that good success, which would have made him a good winner of that round by putting Paul on the floor. And that was a definite shot. He was a little upright, he was going backwards, but he still got caught on the chin with that punch.
And this is the first time in his career that Bernard Paul has ever been floored in 27 fights.
Yeah, so even though he was protesting a little bit, he's felt the weight, or even I think more so the sharpness of Richie Edwards' punching.
Well, second round, bit of a turn up in the opening round. Paul, remember, who's looking to regain this southern area light welterweight crown in the black trunks against Richie Edwards, North London v West London derby. Well, just the strategy you'd expect from Edwards in that opening round. He will certainly have gained in confidence having scored that knockdown.
Paul will want to do some good work in this round, just to wipe out that memory in the referee's mind. So he's closing with the feet. He's got to start putting punches together a little more, Paul, certainly in clusters.
Paul did well in that 12-round points defeat by John Thaxton when he fought for the WBO Intercontinental title. But last time out against Brian Coleman, he really struggled. So we just wonder whether Edwards might be just getting him at the right time. That's one possibility, no more than that.
Well, Edwards' concentration is going to be very good in this fight. He's just got to keep his boxing going, keep his nice sharp punches, and he's just building up a good attack there.
Paul's been troubled by the hand speed of Edwards, hasn't he, so far?
Yes, he's very sharp, Edwards, and his punches are coming straight, getting to the target very quickly.
Warning for Paul from referee Marcus MacDonald, the brother of fighter Jim MacDonald, who's now the trainer of Scott Welsh. Oh, that's a good right hand as well from Edwards, who's made a very, very good start here. Looks full of confidence.
Yes, he's certainly got the extra in the hand speed to palm. That was a nice quick right hook.
Got him again with a right hand. He's looking pretty sharp with his punch power as well, Richie Edwards. Paul just switching to southpaw.
As he comes in, Bernard.
Yes, again, a good round for Edwards. He just got to be a little cautious that he doesn't get too overconfident when he rushes in here.
Just a slightly confused look about Paul at the moment. Trying to work this man out. Can Edwards keep this up?
And it's the speed of Edwards which is giving Paul the problems.
Well, Richie Edwards has won both rounds so far. Not much doubt about that, I think. It's only his 8th professional fight. Big opportunity, and he could not have made a better start.
Yes, good work from Edwards. He's nice and sharp. He's in and out. Good fast footwork, fast hands. There you see, they're both loaded with the right hand, but Edwards quicker to the punch and landed nice and sharp there. There we see it, another angle. Good, strong, solid punch, and that made Bernard Paul just back off there.
And after that, Paul hardly did a thing for the rest of the round.
Yes, he was struggling. He was trying to close the distance down. He was a little wild, and just the speed of Edwards is giving Paul lots of problems.
Corners, 10 seconds. Round 3.
Third round for the southern area light welterweight crown. The winner here will be thinking in terms of a British title opportunity somewhere down the line, and rightly so. Andy Holligan, the current British champion, but good fighters around like John Thaxton, Shane Neary, Peter Richardson at this weight. Now, what can Paul do about this? He's the one really with the experience. He's pretty battle-hardened. Just worth reminding ourselves that Edwards has never been beyond 6 rounds before, if this does go into the later stages. Edwards, remember, in white.
Back him up again, Bernard, back him up! Back him up!
Speed, confidence, flashy skills from Edwards.
Yes, he's looking nice and sharp. It's good footwork. He's getting into range very quickly, getting his punches off and then getting straight out of distance.
Paul looks as if he's having trouble working out the style, doesn't he?
Yes, Paul's threatening with his punches, but he's not getting close enough to land with them. And if he does get close, Edwards just ties him up.
Come on, Bernard, come on! Don't get lazy, come on, work! And again!
Third round, and it's due to go 10 for the Southern Area Championship.
And again, Bernard!
A lot of the best fights you'll see around the British rings are for these area titles. Edwards complaining about something to the referee as they worked in close there. Not sure what.
Don't wait, Bernard!
Again, the countering right, as in round 2, from Edwards.
Yes, he just comes away the quicker and gets that punch off faster.
Back him up, Bernard, back him up!
And Paul just becoming a little bit more hesitant about getting close to Edwards. Obviously been caught with that counter a few times.
That's better from Paul. Got the right hand through that time.
Well, this is where Paul has got to try and rough Edwards up a bit, use his strength, try and let punches go inside there.
Go again, Bernard!
Just needs to burst the Edwards bubble a little bit at the moment. Bernard Paul. Again, the right hand from Paul, who's just starting, maybe, to find himself. Only fleeting signs of it. I scored that last one an even round myself.
Yeah, I think it would have been even. Paul was certainly getting closer with the feet. He was landing the stronger punches, and I don't think Edwards was getting as many punches off. He was just waiting for Paul that little bit more.
There's Paul's record for you: 18 wins against 4 defeats and 4 draws. He had one very good win, an explosive first-round knockout of Jason Rowland at the York Hall in East London just over a year ago. He's one of 4 brothers who went into amateur boxing from a family of 7.
He had some better work in this round, closing the distance down there. He gets a good right hand on. And Edwards just a little more on the defensive and not as much sharp work coming back.
Fourth round of 10 for the Southern Area Championship. Richie Edwards in the white trunks ahead so far, and Bernard Paul down for the first time in his career, though not seriously hurt, it should be said, towards the end of round 1.
And that's how I see it. Edwards still winning them first 2 rounds, but Paul just coming into the fight a little more in the third.
Certainly Paul started as favourite here. He's abandoned the idea of fighting as a southpaw that he flirted with a little earlier, as he's up against a southpaw here.
I think Paul's best chance is he's got to try and get close to Edwards, slow him down, try and rough him up on the ropes, use his strength and his experience, and just stop Edwards from getting good boxing going.
Goes southpaw again, Paul, for a moment. Oh, and gets there with the right hand. There's a turn in the tide. Quickly on his feet, Edwards, and shaking his head as if to say not hurt. Should he have stayed down a little longer, I wonder? No mandatory 8 count, remember, in the British ring. And I wonder whether Edwards should have just let his head clear a moment.
Obviously, he's very inexperienced, and it's a novice fighter's first thoughts is to get up as quick as they can. That could have been a mistake from Edwards. He's taking punches now.
Face grimaced as 2 more rights landed. Has Paul taken his measure now? After that uncomfortable start, another left goes in. And Edwards now is having to ship these punches, and his inexperience certainly told, as he didn't stay down and take an 8 count and give his head a chance to clear. His pride got him onto his feet by the count of, well, 2, 3 even.
But Paul's got to try and take his chance here and get close and land with big punches if he can.
Has to say that momentary switch to southpaw paid as well for Paul. Look at him now, showboating, as if to say, look, I've got you now, I'm in control of this now. Bit of psychological warfare going on in there as well. These are now hard moments for Richie Edwards, who started so well, but if he's going to become a Southern Area champion so early in his career, he's really going to have to come through this crisis now and prove himself.
Yes, he's got to try and get back to his boxing, let some of the sharp punches go. Paul's coming into Edwards, so Edwards has got to try and catch him as he comes in.
This is an absolutely key phase of the fight for Edwards, who has to keep out of harm's way, get back on his bike, buy a bit of time for a while. There's some blood coming, I think, too, from the nose of Richie Edwards. That was a torrid round for him and a great one for Bernard Paul.
Well, Paul finally got through with a decent punch, causing the knockdown. He just tried to pressure, came forward, lands that good right hook, and it just caught him right on the whiskers, as they say, right in the front of the face. And he went down quite heavily, but he did jump up very quickly indeed, and that could have been a bit of a problem because he took a few heavy shots straight after that.
Good fight, isn't it?
Very good fight, really has warmed. It's a good clash of styles with the good sharp boxing Edwards and the big swinging punches of Bernard Paul.
Paul with George Patrick and Alex Gower in the corner. 5th round, what next in this Southern Area title fight, you wonder? We've seen one switch in the pattern. Might there be another? Can Edwards come back? Paul is the man on top at the moment. There he goes, switching to southpaw again. Gets through again. These punches from Paul now are beginning to find their target. Doesn't look as light on his feet, Edwards. That's bad news for him.
And that's how I have it. Dead even at the minute with that big 10-9 round from Paul in the 4th.
Back him up, Bernard, come on! Back him up! Back him up! Go again!
He's caught on the counter. That's what Edwards needs to do. Every second for him at this stage is quite vital, you feel, Richie Edwards. Time for him maybe to just let his head clear again. But the punches that were being made to miss earlier on because of the speed and elusiveness of Edwards in the early stages, well, now they're landing.
Whack him, Bernard, come on!
You can see how much Paul's now grown in confidence, getting a bit of rhythm and momentum into his work and just trying to roll forward, looking for that right hand. But he seemed to walk into a good little counter left from Edwards there, Ian.
Yes, he did. He's still looking the stronger and more confident of the two now. Breathing more heavily, Edwards. Being forced onto the back foot, looking less mobile. Some blood on his shorts. And problem with the glove for Bernard Paul.
Bernard! Work, son! Work, Bernard! Bernard! Back him up!
I think the glove's split, isn't it, Glenn?
Yes, there seems to be some problem like that. I think the corner wanted it to go at the end of the round, but the referee says no, we better get that off straight away and change them over.
So a new right glove for Bernard Paul, who continues to punch the air. Has the nickname of the punching postman, predictably enough, for anybody who works in the post office and gets into the boxing ring. Richie Edwards, well, this could be quite good news for him, the break, couldn't it?
It could be, just to give him a little bit of time to get his senses together. He's looking over to his corner for a few bits of instruction. I'm sure they're just going to say keep on the movement and let's look for some sharp punches as Paul comes on to you.
Come on, Bernard, son, that's a waste. Keep it up.
So a new glove being put onto the right hand.
Come on.
And this is one of the longest timeouts I think we've seen in recent times in a British ring. Fight must have been stopped for a good 90 seconds already.
Yes, it's been a little while, and that could be very good news for Richie Edwards, who, you know, it will just break up Paul's momentum a little bit, because he was just starting to come on strongly here.
All he can do is wait as Alex Gower puts the glove on for Bernard Paul. Gower, who was with Herbie Hyde, wasn't he, out in Las Vegas when he got beaten by Riddick Bowe. There he is with the dark hair alongside George Patrick. Isola Akai in the Edwards corner. And this protracted round 5 continues. How important might that break turn out to be, we wonder, as the plot unfolds. Wow, look at this from Edwards, suddenly revitalized. That gap in the action came just at a time when Paul seemed to be right on top.
Yes, he was just growing in confidence, and you know, he was getting through the punches, good momentum and rhythm. But now, you know, it just gives Edwards a little chance just to get his boxing back together, start landing with sharp punches.
Just looking a bit lighter on his feet again, as if the movement's coming back after the shock of the knockdown. Still thought it was Paul's round. How do you score that last round?
I had that an even round. Obviously the action was broke up a little bit, and I thought Paul was threatening at the beginning of the round, and then after the interval, Edwards seemed to have the best of it.
I can't remember the start of the 5th round. It seems an hour
a long
ago,
while ago, didn't it? But there's the stats: 62 punches landed for Edwards, 71 for Paul.
Pretty close, and I would think the fight must be close-ish at this stage. Can't be a lot in it. Both have been on the floor. How does he look to you, Richie Edwards? I thought he was beginning to gasp a bit at times earlier on.
He was beginning to get in a little bit of trouble, but the rest done him a bit of good.
Sixth round then. Bernard Paul from Tottenham in the black trunks, and the white of Richie Edwards from Greenford in West London. 27 years of age, Edwards, looking to become Southern Area champion in only his 8th pro fight. Frank Maloney's let him off the leash. Thinks he may have the style and skill to beat Paul. Not doing badly so far, but after the bright start, it's Paul who's just come back a little bit. But Edwards showing signs of getting a second wind.
Well, Paul's really got to try and use his strength. He looks to be the stronger, more mature of the two. But I think he's got to use that by getting in close, roughing Edwards up, and not letting the fight be controlled with Edwards from long range.
Watch the use of the head, says the referee to Paul, whose left hooker a moment or two ago just whistled an inch or so away from the chin of Edwards. Doesn't want to get trapped against those ropes. Edwards needs to stay mobile and look for counters.
That was a fair left hook, and Edwards looked to grab in close again.
Again, the left hand gets through from Paul. Edwards rode it quite well. Dabs away at something on his face. There is a bit of blood around. It's not an eye cut. Some of that blood is now splattered over our notes at ringside, I can reveal as well.
And again, a close round, the action swaying from one to the other. Paul was having the best of it. Edwards just came back with that little flurry, but Paul just seems to get a little bit more rhythm again.
Caught with another left hand, Edwards. That hurt him. He wanted to hold. More eye-catching work from Paul in this round. Again, forced into retreat. Turned Paul well there.
But wasn't really able to capitalise on it, and allowed Paul just to slide down the ropes out of harm's way.
Every so often, Paul just leering at Edwards across the ring as a kind of psychological ploy.
Yes, he's just trying to use his experience and things like that. Edwards very inexperienced, and that can have an effect in there.
Body punches to end the round from Paul, who must have won that round, I would think. Well, after a dodgy start, Bernard Paul looks to be taking control of things.
Yes, I've just got him edging in the lead now. He's just seems to be getting the strength. He seems to be catching Edwards more and more. Edwards probably just getting a little bit more tired, and he's having to take a few more shots. And here we can see a good left hook from Paul. Really lands with a lot of weight, leaps into that punch. And I think punches like that are just starting to have their effect on Edwards. There we see it again, just on high in the head. He took it quite well, Edwards, but it was still a good hard punch.
Is the force now with Bernard Paul? There we are, 44% landed for Edwards, 42% for Paul in that sixth round. Round 7 then, the black trunks of Bernard Paul, who's held this championship before and now looks to regain it, having been stripped of it by the British Boxing Board of Control because he lost to John Thaxton, which may have been a little harsh on him, but there you go, these things happen. Edwards needs a biggish round here, I would suggest.
Yes, when they come together, Edwards got the best of that with his right hook. He just put Paul onto the back foot there for a little while.
Fast start to the round by Edwards, looking to re-establish himself. Now, is there some blood just trickling from a little graze by the right eye of Edwards?
Yes, I think there could be a little cut down the side of Edwards' eye.
Try to get a closer look at that at an opportune moment. It's nothing too much. I suppose there's a school of thought that would say a defeat for Edwards would not exactly be the end of the world in only his 8th pro fight, but he is 27, so they obviously feel they've got to move him along quicker than most. He's coming back fairly well at the start of this 7th round, Edwards. Paul looks to be the one with the sharper dig, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he looks the stronger. He looks to be hitting the harder in close. But Edwards just has to start getting more punches off. He's forgetting about the straight punches that he was having success with early in the fight.
2 right hands. Edwards just caught, looking a little troubled, starting to ship some punches. He tries to get back to the hit and run tactics.
And you just sense that Paul's just starting to get the measure of Edwards a little bit and getting through the defences more and more.
The extra experience and the extra power, vital factors at the moment for Bernard Paul. Just at this stage, it all looks as if it maybe has come a fight or two too soon for Edwards. Paul's round again, I think.
Well, I think it was a relatively good guess. Certainly I would have given that to Paul. He was the one that had Edwards on the back foot throughout the most of the round. He was just starting to land with solid punches and just looking a little more distressed in the corner, Edwards.
If we look at the stats there, Paul's landed 110 so far to Edwards' 85. Good economy.
They're working hard in the other corner on Edwards' eye, so there's some damage there. But you see what's caused the damage. These good punches from Paul. The defences were just starting to get a lot leaky in that round.
And I was right, he has got some damage to that right eye. I thought I'd pick that up in the middle of the round. It's not very much, just a sort of nick by the side of the eye. Shouldn't be too much of a factor. So here's round 8. Last 3 rounds then. Paul has taken control of things in his black trunks here as he bids to regain this southern area title. But can Edwards do something in the remaining 9 minutes to turn things around in his favour again, having had Paul on the floor in the first?
Well, the corner will have told Edwards he's got to start and pull something out now. It's all slipping away from him. He's got to start landing, and his defence has got to stand up. That was a good left hand there from Edwards.
Very similar that to the punch that put Paul down in the first round. The angle of attack just seemed to confuse Paul. I wonder if that first round was scored by a full-point margin to Edwards with the knockdown. It might have been, which might make it a bit closer on the scorecards, but we both think, don't we, Glenn, that Paul is ahead here?
Yes, we both got Paul a couple of rounds ahead and coming on strong. He's certainly getting the better of the work inside. Edwards looking to hold in there.
Switches to southpaw again, just to try to confuse Edwards a little more. Paul was a pound over the limit at the original weigh-in for this contest. That suggests he might have had a bit of problems making this light welterweight limit of 10 stone. It's not showing at the moment, though.
It's not. He's looking strong, landing with a good long right uppercut and left hook.
Gets through again, Paul.
And it just looks as if Edwards is just starting to get a little bit overwhelmed by punches now.
The cut opens up again by the side of the right eye for Richie Edwards. A fight in which both of them have been on the floor for the first time in their professional careers. A good left hook from Paul. And Edwards, at the moment, is taking rather too many punches.
And there's blood coming back from the back out of the eye of Edwards now, running down the cheek.
Edward looking to launch in with the left hook. Well, things have drifted away from Richie Edwards here after his big start. Damaged by that right eye. It should be okay, shouldn't it? Doesn't look much, does it?
It doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look that deep. But I think he's got bigger problems just trying defensively to stop these big rushes from Bernard Paul. He's been caught by a lot more punches in these rounds.
On my scorecard at the moment, I have Paul the equivalent of 3 rounds ahead, and there are only 2 rounds left, which, if that's right, Edwards needs at least another knockdown.
Yes, we can say it as I have it there, Ian. Exactly the same. So Edwards has to do something special.
So we do agree sometimes, then.
Now and again we do, yeah.
Ninth round. Actually, we agree a lot of the time, don't we?
We do.
Monotonously, so actually. The black trunks of Bernard Paul, the white of Richie Edwards. Southern Area Light Welterweight Championship. Decent fight too.
Yes, this has been a good fight. Paul is threatening to really get on top, but Edwards just keeps clawing his way back and trying to throw punches. But Paul just seems to have that extra bit of power.
Edwards definitely needs a big finish. Maybe an even bigger finish than he had start. Only the referee Marcus McDonald will score this. Never quite know what the scorecard may be saying. Good combination there from Edwards. That was a bit better from him. Paul just letting his gloves drift down. It's not been a bad effort at all, this, by Richie Edwards, we should say, but at the moment it just looks as if he isn't quite ready for somebody in Paul's class.
I must say it's been a very good effort from Richie Edwards. He's trying to fight back all the time, and at times he's getting the better of it, and he's looked very sharp, but he maybe just doesn't look quite as strong as Bernard Paul.
Paul gets him with a right uppercut this time. Edwards' gloves just dropping down at times, maybe a sign of tiredness, and that's leaving the head exposed, which isn't helping his cause.
Well, it must be hard for Edwards. He's never gone beyond 6 rounds before, so he's in unknown territory here, and that's a very hard for a young fighter to find himself in such a tough fight.
Paul just looking too hard and strong and knowing for him.
Yes, Edwards trying to hold inside there, and Paul just pulling his arms free and landing with a good strong uppercut.
Blood from the nose as well of Edwards. Just being pushed around a bit as they work in close too. His headshots have clearly taken something out of him. Last few seconds of the 9th round. Now Paul's round again. He's pulling away now and looks to have it in the bag. It's been a very good recovery from Bernard Paul. And it looks like it might be a triumph for the Barry Hearn camp over the Frank Maloney one. There we are, punches landed. 30 more from Paul. And better quality shots too, I think.
Yes, the stronger punches, certainly in the second part of the fight. He's getting through with good solid punches.
There is Barry Hearn with Mickey Duff and Jarvis Astaire. All part of the promotional stakes in big-time British boxing these days, of course. There's the Glenn McCrory version of things. 4 rounds ahead you've got, Paul.
Yes, I've got him going into a good lead here, nicely on top.
Last round, and if Glenn and I are right here, Richie Edwards needs a knockout or stoppage in this last round. There's no way back for him on the scorecards. We don't think anyway.
No, he's shown good character. He's tried to fight back. He's been a little marked up, but he's always made a fight of it, Richie Edwards. Just maybe lacking a little bit of experience, a little bit of strength.
Well, Paul has had his setbacks in his career. He has been a bit erratic, but this has been a good performance after a shaky start from him tonight. Again, getting through, and maybe even believing that he may be able to stop Edwards. 10 stoppage wins out of 18 victories for Paul so far.
And Edwards tired now, just lacking the footwork to get himself clear of these punches.
Well, Paul mustn't allow himself to get careless late on. He's enough of an experienced pro, I'm sure, to know that he must have a decent points lead, although of course professionals maybe learn not to trust on the scorecards too much. Somebody behind me shouting out, "Stop it, ref," which is pretty ridiculous. I think he must be a Bernard Paul fan.
I think he is. But it really has been a very exciting fight. This has been a good one to watch, and Richie Edwards put up stubborn resistance, but Paul just looks to have been the stronger.
Coming up to the last 3/4 of a minute. Richie Edwards needs to find one jackpot punch from somewhere.
But it was Bernard Paul who found the good left hook there, and I think that one hurt Edwards.
Paul has pulled further away the longer it's gone on. Watch the use of the head, says the referee. Last 10 seconds. And I'll be absolutely amazed here if in a moment or two's time Bernard Paul's hand is not lifted. Southern Area Championship, it's all over. The referee waiting before lifting the arms, but they both seem to know what's happened here. Paul doesn't even wait for the referee to lift his arm. He knows he's won it, and so too does Edwards. Bernard Paul from Tottenham in North London regains the Southern Area Light-Welterweight Championship despite being floored for the first time in his career. Good performance from him.
It was a good performance. It was a very good fight, and credit to Richie Edwards. For somebody so inexperienced, he had it going there just a little bit out of his depth. Maybe come a fighter too soon, and he just didn't seem to have the strength. But it would be a good comeback from Bernard Paul from that knockdown in the first round, and he come back well to make that extra strength and punch power tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Marcus McDonald scores a contest. Edwards at 97 points, Paul 99 points. The new Southern Area Light
4 rounds in
champion,
it in favour of Bernard Paul. I had it by 5 rounds, but who's arguing the right result? Bernard Paul, Southern Area champion all over again.
And ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation of a very game loser indeed, Richie Edwards. come straight back to you, make a promise. All right.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, Andy. Bernard Paul, congratulations, Southern Area champion once again.
Yeah, thank you very much. This belt was only low now because I got robbed at Sheffield. But tonight, no one's going to rob me. I've come out of my heart. And I guarantee you there's more to come. I want my belts back. I want a WBO champion. And I want the British champion as well, which they've kept me away for a long time. But it's a matter of time. I'll get it. I might be old in age, but I'm young at heart. And the man's back. Believe it.
It was a tough start for you, Bernard, but you came through and a hell of a fight.
Yeah, it was a warm-up. I said to Richie, he's a good fighter. Can't take away from him. He's good, very skillful. But he lacked the experience. I've got the experience. They robbed me of the fight last day in Sheffield, as everyone knows.
Put down for the first time in your career in round one. How did that feel?
Well, I didn't exactly get put down. I slipped and fell. As you can see, I got up and I was laughing. I couldn't believe it. He pushed me, and I was off balance. Like, I just went back. But
you can see it down here.
yeah, look. You watch. I pushed into the start, and I went back. And you'll see as I get out, I was off balance, and I slipped and fell. I got straight.
Got another angle here.
There it is. Yeah. See, it wasn't. Look, I was off balance, completely off balance, going back.
But you came back in round four.
I came back and knew I'd do it. But that tonight, no one was going to take it away from me. Believe it. What I want now is a British champion.
Dedication.
I want all the titles. You'll see, all of you. I'll bring it back home for all of you.
Congratulations, Bernard.
I'd just like to thank my family. They've all come see me. My mentor, OJ. OJ's come here. He's getting his best of me. And I'd just like to say thanks to everyone that's been here.
Thanks to you, Bernard. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Burn up here, burn up here.